Hi everybody, my name is Larsen. We spend a lot of time practicing our arpeggios, so it makes sense to have a few different ways to use them in our playing. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 different ways that you can insert arpeggios into your jazz licks, and it's going to help you come up with some new melodic ideas and also get more out of all the time that you spent practicing arpeggios. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar, about improvising over chord changes and checking out some interesting chord voicings and jazz phrases, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, then click the little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. In this example, I'm using the arpeggio to really bring out some of the notes in the line that I'm playing. And this is a great way to add some emphasis to an extension or an alteration. So the way I'm doing it, all the examples that I'm playing in this video are on a 2-5-1 in the key of E flat major. So that's F minor, B flat 7 to E flat major. What I'm doing here is I'm using an ascending arpeggio to really bring out the 9 on the F minor 7. So the way the line works is that I'm playing first, I'm just starting on the root, up the scale, and then I'm playing the A flat major 7 arpeggio that has this G as a top note. And to add even more emphasis, what I'm doing is also that I'm changing sort of the pace by playing the first part of the arpeggio as an 8-note triplet. Making this the target note and then just having a little bit more velocity before I get there is really helping bring out that sound on the chord. This idea of using ascending arpeggios to really bring out certain notes is something that we've been doing in jazz since Charlie Parker. A recent video that I did on a West Montgomery lick is actually also about this, because he uses an arpeggio to really bring out the 11. So if I transfer that to this 2-5-1, then that could be something like this. In this example, the emphasis is on the 11, so on the B flat on the F minor, and I'm still using the same arpeggio to get there, so that's an A flat major triad, and then I'm leaving out the 7th and then skipping up to the B flat to really let that ring. And I also in this line really do let it ring, so it's not continuing in an 8-note line before it gets to the B flat 7 altered, where it then continues in a descending run. If a solo line is just a long scale run, then it can quickly become kind of boring and predictable to listen to. So it's very useful to be able to add some larger intervals and just change direction once in a while. And in this example, I'm using an arpeggio to do just that. So I have the descending scale run from C on the F minor. And then when I'm on the F, I'm using an F minor 7 first inversion arpeggio here. So I'm on the F, skipping down to the 3rd, so the A flat, and then up the arpeggio, and then transitioning into the B flat here, adding another arpeggio. And this is of course more interesting to listen to than if I just kept the same direction going the entire 2-5-1. So this works the best if you're inserting the arpeggio on a chord tone. So another place on an F minor where you can insert it would be on the 3rd, so on the A flat. That could be something like this. So here I'm starting first with a descending chromatic run, so from C, then all the way down to the A flat. Once I'm on the A flat, just to break up the direction, I'm skipping down and then playing an A flat major 7 first inversion arpeggio. So first the A flat and then down to the C, up the arpeggio. And then on the B flat 7 altered, I'm starting on the G flat, so G flat, E, G, and the flat 9, 7, and then a scale run to resolve to the 5th. The beginning of this example is coming straight out of a John Coltrane solo on the song Cousin Mary of the Giant Steps album. And the idea here is to have a descending scale run and then add arpeggios in between as a sort of embellishment. And it becomes sort of a cascading effect, which is a really nice effect to have in there. So the scale run is extremely short because it's only 3 notes long, so it's B flat, A flat and G. and then I'm adding arpeggios in between these notes. So I start on the B flat, and then nothing happens, and I go down to the A flat, and under the A flat I add a second inversion, F minor triad, so just a descending arpeggio like this. Then I go back up to my scale rung, so the first note that's up there is a G, and then I have a descending A flat major 7 arpeggio under there. So then I have, and then from here I move into my own altered line, which is a B flat 7 altered, and it's coming sort of out of an ascending B flat minor major arpeggio, and then resolving to the third, and finally the fifth of the E flat major 7. If you have an approach to insert arpeggios into your lines that I didn't talk about in this video, then leave a comment. I think that a lot of useful information is actually being shared in the comments, and I'm certainly very curious about different ways of applying arpeggios and making lines and coming up with some fresh ideas. And I'm pretty sure that everybody else who's checking out the video is as well. So check out the comments and see what's going on down there, because there's often a lot of useful information. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar and this is the first time you see one of my videos, then subscribe to my channel. The videos that I publish here are on exploring jazz guitar, finding some solid methods and good strategies to get new things into your playing. If you like this video and you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. I'm very grateful for the support that I'm getting from my patrons, and it's because of that I can keep on going and publish videos every week. If you join us over on Patreon, I can also give you something in return for your support. That's about it for this week. Thank you for watching, and until next week.